Shalom, everyone. This is Shamir returning back, and today we're going to look at Shemot Ki Tisa. Okay, so we're going to be looking at chapter 30, verses 11 through 16. So, Vayedaber Yahweh El Moshe Lemor. Now, I do say the name. I'm not a secret namer, but if you want to say Yehovah, that's up to you. Everybody should be able to do what's comfortable for them. So Vayedaber Yahweh, and Yahweh spoke El Moshe to Moshe Lemor, saying, this word is actually left out of the translation, Lemor. Here we see, I did make some changes, just mostly to the name. So from Lord. Okay, so now we'll go to verse 12. There we are. Ki tisa et rosh b'nei Israel lif ku de hem v'natenu ish ofer nafsho LaYahweh bifkod otam v'lo yihye v'hem negef bifkod otam. We do have a repeated phrase, right? Bifkod otam here, and then bifkod otam here. Ki tisa et rosh. So literally, for you will raise the head. Tisa is from nasa, noon, seeing, aleph. For you will take a head count. Here it says when you take census. It's actually imperfect tisa, so kind of get a future tense for you will raise the head, for you will, or when you will take a head count. B'nai Israel. So remember we said sons of Israel, they put people. So we'll go with sons. V'natenu ish. Kofer. So then they will give each man atonement of his life. Kofer nafsho. Nafsho is really from nefesh. It's inflected, so it has a third masculine singular suffix here. So his life or life price, ransom, atonement, atoning payment, la Yahweh, to Yahweh. Bifkod otam, in numbering them. There they have, let's see. Then each, so you see how they kind of left out man, each shall give. So, but it's really each man will give. It says ish, because this has to do with males 20 and up. So just this ambiguous each shall give a ransom for his life or an atoning payment for his life. The Yahweh, and then We already said if kodotam and numbering them, velo hiye, and there will not be. Hiye is from haya. Vahem on them negev. So they use plague, but it's really disastrous blows. It's actually a very violent uh, thing to happen. And the Gef is always referring to something that Yahweh is going to bring on. I know we like to say things like the smiling God and everything, but at some point we kind of have to hit a little bit of reality, and then we have the last phrase, in numbering them. They say when you number, but this is an infinitive, so there really isn't any gender associated. So it's really in numbering them. All right. So that's verse 12. Let's go to our next one. There we go, verse 13. Ze yitenu kol ha'over al ha'pekudim mechatzit ha'shekel v'shekel ha'kodesh esrim gera ha'shekel mechatzit ha'shekel teruma LaYahweh. Oh yeah, let's go back to, I have to go back to verse 12. I have a couple of notes to read. So the ransom that's paid, just to go a little further, to escape harm and death. There is an idea of this with Jonathan and Sal when Jonathan breaks uh, Sal's oath or death penalty oath, and then he is ransomed. So whether he could have been ransomed, his life was a price, or another person. Um, Ill-advised censuses were thought to be disastrous. It could result in a plague. You see 2 Samuel 24, 1 through 25. The ritual, like many in, is given a commemorative feature. This is kind of going a little further into our reading. So a census payment is a reminder that the risks inherent in a census are averted by payment. All right, now we'll go back to verse 13. Okay, so ze yitenu kol over al ha-pekudim machatzit ha-shekel v'shekel ha-kodesh esrim gera ha-shekel ha-machatzit ha-shekel teruma LaYahweh. I know I read that already, but I figured could maybe for a second time it will be nice to have it again. So they will give no, the English is a little kol ha'over. We kind of have to go piece by piece. Al pekudim. So emerges as one who is entered among the enrolled. So the ones that make their atonement payment then cross over to those who have been counted, meaning each man counted could then move from the uncounted to the counted group. Okay, so then we have machatzit hashekel, so half shekel. It's probably was not a coin, but rather weight of a precious metal that was shaved off and weighed. The shekel hakodesh. We'll look at the English after, see what's happening over there. But I kind of want to focus on this part first. So the set apart shekel, um, the metal was probably silver, and half a shekel, 10 gerahs would weigh approximately 5.7 grams or 0.2 of an ounce. Esrim gerah, so 20 gerah, a shekel hamechatzit, so it repeats, right? Half shekel, a shekel teruma Yahweh, so the shekel for contribution to Yahweh. Right, so when we have this they will give. Literally. Each one who is numbered in the sentence shall give this. Half a shekel according to the shekel of the sanctuary. Sanctuary is not my favorite word. So Kodesh, the holy. And of course we say place. Shekel is 20 gerahs, half shekel as an offering, contribution offering to Yahweh. And so just checking to see if I have any other notes. The teruma reminds us of the voluntary giving that took place before this. And now we have this mandatory contribution or teruma that needs to be given to atone for the life price. Okay, all right, let's move forward now to verse 14. I've said this before, but translations are best aided by actually having some knowledge of Hebrew. It's not really possible to know what the Bible says fully without some language study. Just too many things can go wrong. Doesn't matter how many translations you have. There is no perfect or good translation. There are just translations. You kind of have to pick the lesser of the evil. But even with those, there are problems. So kol ha'over al hapikudim mi ben 20 shana v'mala yiten terumat Yahweh. So this is from verse 13. It's kind of like an inclusio, kol ha'over hapikudim. This is where we say, meaning each man counted could then cross over from the uncounted to the counted. Sort of has like an end time-ish excuse me, feel to that phrase. So this is why it can't be well, they left out even the gender. You can't leave the gender out. So mi ben. So one way to tell the age in Hebrew is you say bat for a female, bat kama at. So bat kama at, how old are you? Or ben kama ata, how old are you? Right? So here we see mi ben signifying that it's male. from 20 years and up. Esrim Shana Vamala. So like here, remember when was it here? So there's a reason why it says each man, even though they put uh, each man, sorry, it can't be, whatever. I don't want to use any catchphrase words because then this might get flagged or something. But I mean, reality is reality. So talking about a man, not anybody else, not a group of people, not everybody together. It's just men. And then this again clinches the idea. So a male from 20 years and up will give, he will give. So here, let's see, uh, everyone who is numbered. So everyone, so it's ha'over is a participle, acting as a noun. So the one uh, crossing over is not really even gendered. In the census, a male from 20 years old and upwards, he shall give the Yahweh's offering. He will give the offering of Yahweh. Terumat is what we call construct in Hebrew. Biblical Hebrew is no way to say of, so it's done with spelling. Teruma is the lexical form, the form that you would find in a lexicon. Han teruma. But here we have terumat, so contribution or offering of Yahweh. So you see how they manipulate the text. Um, you would not know that if you couldn't look at the Hebrew, you would think that this was correct. Numbered in the census from 20 years old. So, but it has to be specified that it is a male that is numbered, just not anybody, you know. So check your translations, guys, and make the corrections in there. All right, let's move on to verse 15. Sorry, that's a little, doesn't look as clear, but anyway. All right. Hey Ashir lo yarbe, Hadal lo yamit, mi machatsit hashekel, letet et terumat Yahweh, lechaper al nafshotechem. Just a side note, because I know there's like some group that keep saying that this et is like the aleph tav. No, it's a preposition. It's not. Um, we have to change that one. It's a preposition. So if you came to Israel and you said that, people would just think you lost your mind. So please don't listen to crazy teachings. Don't listen to people who tell you you can learn Hebrew in like 6 weeks, because I guarantee you, if I tested you, you might not make it through. So it's a lifelong journey. You have to look at studying the Bible as lifelong. Learning Hebrew is not something that you do like in 1 year and then you finish. That all that kind of concept comes from the educational system. You go through 12 years of school. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that, but most people do. And then that's it. You've arrived to I don't know what. And then something like 90% of high schoolers never read another book, and 80% of college students never read another book after they're done. So you have to look at studying the Bible and learning Hebrew, not as a beginning, as an end, just something that is going to go on until you die, until you go on to the other side. So you go to the Havli Mishkan. So gotta look at it as lifelong. You're never gonna arrive because there's so much in the book. You can never live enough lifetimes to get to the end of it. So get comfortable. All right. Hey Ashir lo yarbe vehadal lo yam'it mimachatzit hasheker letet et tarumat Yahweh. I think I just read the whole thing, right? Oh, well, we can do it again. Lechaper al nachshotechem. All right, so hey Ashir, the rich lo yarbe, so will not increase. The hadal and the poor one. So it's really like this is really like the rich one and the poor one. Lo yam eat, diminish or reduce from the half shekel to give et terumat. Remember, we have our lexical form is teruma. Lechaper, to make atonement upon or on your lives, your life. This is what we call type 2 plural, the second masculine plural from nephesh. You have nephesh plus second masculine plural suffix. Let's see what the rich shall not give more, the poor shall not give less than a half shekel when you give the Yahweh's, oh, sorry, because they have the Lord, give Yahweh's offering to make atonement for your lives. Okay. All right. And we have one more verse, verse 16. Velakachta et kesev hakipurim me'et b'nei Israel venatata oto al avodat ohel moed והיה לבני ישראל לזיכרון לפני יהוה לכפר על נפשותיכם. So this we saw this in the previous verse. So kind of end with what we call inclusio. As we began, it's when you begin and end with the same verse. So, and you will take the silver of atonement, remember Yom HaKippur, Kippurim, from the sons of Israel, Me'et B'nei Israel, Venatata Oto, and you will give it Al Avodat Ohal Moed, to the work of the tent of meeting, Vehaya, and it will be B'nei Israel, to the sons of Israel, Lezikaron, for a reminder before Yahweh to atone upon their lives, or for atonement of their lives. Zikaron is a somewhat ambiguous. It's a term used, reminder for Israel in Exodus 13:9, also of the gemstones on the shoulder pieces of the ephod and the breastplate, the judgment that were to be a reminder for Yahweh. And this is also what Yeshua says when he says, do this in remembrance of me, is really going back into the Torah and Pesach. So Zikaron, it's kind of a long topic. I actually meant to make a few notes about it, but there's probably enough here already. So you guys probably don't need any more. So probably do it on a separate, I'm pretty sure I did a video on it actually somewhere in there. So let's see what they have to say. You shall take the atonement money from the people. Ah, I got that again. Sons of Israel and give it for the service or work of the tent of meeting, that it may bring the sons of Israel to your remembrance before Yahweh, so as to make atonement for your lives. All right, you guys, that's it. So hopefully you get something out of all that. And until next time, Shavua Tov. Bye-bye.